What's up, guys? It's Anthony with Anthony's Adventures, and today we're in part 2 of my engine swap, and we're going to be removing the engine today. Well, not like today, but in this video we're going to pull the engine. So first things first, we're going to get my bumper and the winch and stuff off. That way we can pull the grill, because I don't want to deal with trying to pick it up above the radiator and all that stuff. So we're just gonna pull it out, get it out of the way, and yeah, so that's what we're gonna start with tonight. I'm gonna try and get the bumper and stuff off, hopefully by myself. I put it on by myself, but yeah, we'll see what I can do. But that's what we're gonna start with today. Alright, so we got power cables and ground cable for the winch disconnected. We've got my wiring harness for the lights disconnected, so the lights are just chilling here now, out of the way. I got 2 of the bolts out right there for the bumper. There's these 2, and then this side has all the steering box bolts as well. And the other side doesn't have as many, so but we'll just have to get these 3 out and hopefully pull it off. And while it's off, we're gonna strip it down and repaint it gloss black to match the rear bumper, so that way it looks nice. And we're just gonna try and make it look somewhat decent. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Winch, bumper off. That was heavy. Kind of fell off, but it's off, so that's all that matters. Now I just need to figure out how this comes off. I know there's some screws. I think it's just those 2. This bezel comes out, and then there's bolts behind it, and then I believe it's just these on the top, and the whole thing should come off. So we'll see about that. But let's go ahead and get these grill bezels off and go from there. Alright, starting to drain the coolant. We got the front grill off, sitting right there. Got the electric fan out of the way. I'm just trying to get everything disconnected here and go from there. But we're having all sorts of fun. It's getting really cold, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to be out here, but we'll find out. So yeah, gonna keep on trucking along here. It looks so sad, but we're making progress. Alright, sorry I haven't been like filming very much besides like little blips of it. It's cold, for one. I'm just kind of picking along at this, as well as my phone's almost dead. I've been charging it right there. But yeah, we're working our way through. I got the radiator out, grill, bumper, all that stuff. I'm gonna try and leave my AC hooked up, so that way I don't have to try and recharge my AC, but I might have to. I don't know. It would be kind of nice to have the AC condenser just like fully out of the way, but I don't know. I don't really know, but we're working our way there. So engine's getting more exposed, so I'll kind of show you guys. Alright, so we got the bumper and the winch, we got the grill, we got the electric fan and the fan shroud, radiator hoses, radiators over there. This is like the little core support piece, and then condensers just kind of chilling here, just kind of here. Yeah, so I guess kind of next thing is like battery, finish kind of disconnecting, coolant hoses, start disconnecting all the grounds off the block, start undoing the wiring harness right here and laying that out of the way. Power steering pump, lay that to the side. This is going to be interesting because it's missing a bolt. And this one's like cross-threaded, so we'll see if they break when it comes out. But I'm hoping, even if it does break, as long as it breaks and I can pull this off, I should be able to use the bolts from this AC compressor and put back on. Because I don't know if this AC compressor is good, because it's been sitting open the whole time. But we might have to try it. But yeah, so we're making progress, but slowly but surely. All right, we got the belt off, power steering pump off. Got all this stuff unplugged. I'm just trying to get all this kind of done. Got this stuff pulled out of the way over here. But we're making some progress. I'm getting way too cold, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up for tonight. But we have the jumbled mess of stuff on this side. We have the ground there, the wiring harness and stuff over here. Gonna pull the battery and the tray out of the way, and then I think I'll be able to pick the AC up and kind of put it over there somewhere. And then we have motor mount bolts, and we have like bell housing bolts, disconnecting like the trainer cooler lines from the oil pan there, and I know there's some down in there on this side. Disconnect the manifold from the rest of the exhaust. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some other stuff that I'm forgetting, but my light's almost dead. Also almost dead. And I'm just getting cold, and it's almost like 11 o'clock at night, so we're gonna pack up the tools and yeah, be done for the night. All right, what's up? So we're back on working on the X-shape, trying to pull the engine. It's been a little while, but today we're gonna try and work on getting the rest of the stuff out of the way on this side, and then I think we'll be kind of good to go underneath, disconnect like the exhaust, the starter, drain the oil, stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and start on that. All right, so we got the AC compressor off. One of the bolts was missing, one of the bolts was already broke, and I broke the other two bolts. So I'm hoping I can maybe pull this compressor off and save that compressor and just put mine back on. I'm trying to save not doing my AC, but we got like the alternator unhooked, we got all the grounds on this side. Need to do the starter, and then I got some more stuff disconnected on this side. Need to do the fuel rail, need to do a couple things down here, and then I think it's like draining oil and bell housing bolts and all that fun stuff. So we're making progress. Okay, what's up? So I need to work on the bottom side of my Jeep, and right now it's kind of in like a little crevice, and it's just real tight, like with the beams and everything like that. So I'm gonna pull it out here, and then we'll probably got to get it turned around kind of back here, so that way the cherry picker will kind of roll on this dirt, because back up under there where I've got it, it's way too soft. So I'm hoping that if I have it out here, I'll be able to move it around a little bit more. So we're gonna pull my Jeep back, and it's just me, so we're gonna see how sketchy this gets. So I'll set you guys up so you can watch it if I run my Jeep into my wife's Jeep or not. So let's do that. Alright, so you can kind of see the setup. You got a little block there. My Jeep's in neutral. Hopefully I can just pull it back and it'll hit the block, and then we'll adjust from there. So wish me luck. Alright, well, that worked fairly good. Now I think I'm just gonna leave it there for right now. I think that should be fine to kind of just be crawling under it and stuff like that right there. And at least go from there. So that was it was alright. Wasn't too bad. But now we have all the room to get around it and stuff like that, so that's nice, and it's in a better spot. And then I don't know when I'm going to turn this thing around, because I want it over here on this more like hard pack, so that way maybe the cherry picker can move around. But that'll be a later problem after we pull bell housing bolts and torque converter bolts and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in park so it doesn't roll away, and yeah, wrap this up. Alright, so here she is, kind of out of hibernation. We got her pulled back over here, that way we can kind of work on her. Yeah, you can see kind of like the hole, like that's a fairly big hole, and this is where I was crawling around to be able to work under it, so just easier to have all that space right there. So, and then I need to bring the trailer back over and put the engine on the trailer, and maybe put it in the shop, get it on the engine stand so we can start stripping that engine down. I want to paint like all the valve cover, the timing cover, the oil pan, all that stuff while I have it off. Just make it look kind of pretty and nice. At least that's the goal. But we'll see what happens. But I think that's kind of all we're going to do for tonight. Poor girl looks so sad. But she'll be back, and hopefully better, with a new engine that's not down on power. So yeah, we'll see what we get up to next. Alright, what's up guys? So I've been kind of just working on the XJ. I got all the bell housing bolts out finally. I've been fighting with the last two upper bell housing bolts for like 2 hours. But I was going to kind of show you guys what I did to be able to get to that, if you guys are having any problems. So first thing I went ahead and did was I pulled out this motor mount completely, and I spun this one upside down, and in doing so you could pick the engine up and take this motor mount out, obviously, and then set it down, and then that creates a nice little gap up here to be able to put your E12 socket on there, and then go from underneath with a heap of extensions. Oh, if I can grab them. With a heap of extensions, and break it loose. The other side's actually fairly easy. You can use a bunch of wobble extensions and you can reach it. You can see this one on the driver's side, so it makes life a lot easier. But yeah, there we go. So now all that's left should be, I gotta cut my exhaust so I can get one of the bell housing bolts to come all the way out. Let me see if there's enough light. Yeah, you can see I gotta cut my exhaust out of the way so that way I can get that bell housing bolt out. So that's fun. Usually you could drop your cross member, but if you're somebody who's watched the channel for a while, when I did my SYE, this bolt broke and we just welded the cross member to the body, and I didn't really want to try and pull it out right now. So we're just gonna cut my exhaust like right there, maybe call it a day. But yeah, it's almost out, I think. Thank God. All right, it's out of there. Done. It's hanging out here. Man, I really messed up the bell housing getting it out because I forgot a bolt. But it's out. We did it. That's sick. So happy about that. The front of the Jeep is so high right now. Alright, so this is going to be the outro for pulling the engine and stuff like that. And then we're going to pick up and go into the next video. But yeah, little sneak peek. Engines are back here. That's the old one. That's the new one. But yeah, we're trying to knock this out so we can go to Moab. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be greatly appreciated. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next part.